curious about this whiskey racket.
It's bourbon, not whiskey. And it's legit. It's no racket.
Okay, this bourbon thing. Word's out about this launch or whatever you call it.
What type of explosive? The damage varies by a lot. I use special compounds, untraceable.
I just want to take out the competition.
Are you in charge? HSE inspections are carried out by inspectors. That's who I am.
Gun.
Put the guns down. Lower your weapons now.
Dunmire boys, you get the hell out of here.
If you think we lost, then that means you think he won. That's never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
You know better than anybody. They're gonna want a big chunk. On top of that, one of my wire places in Blue Hills just got raided.
You're saying I'm a rat?
I didn't say those words, you did.
Don't you fucking move!
I ain't moving.
Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. You going to jail. You're going to jail.
All you had to do was just mind your own goddamn business, bro. That's all you had to do. If Bill would have just minded his own goddamn business in this episode and not have one of his goons tell Dwight and follow him in this episode, he wouldn't have gotten arrested. Now his ass done got arrested by Agent Musso. I definitely believe Agent Musso got something to do with this. This has Agent Musso name written all over it, and I definitely believe he arrested Bill. And if I was him, I'd keep Bill locked up all the way up until episode 7 or 8. I wouldn't let him out of episode 6. Because like I said, all you have to do is just mind his own goddamn business. That's all he have to do. If he would have minded his own goddamn business and stayed out of Dwight's business and stopped worried about him and the stuff that he got going on, he would have avoided getting locked up. So, hey, it is what it is. I don't feel bad for your boy Bill. I do believe he's going to figure out a way to get out of this situation, but as of now, Bill is locked up and he can't blame nobody but himself, goddammit. But what's the deal with it, YouTube? What's good with y'all? What's up with everybody? I go by the name of DC, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Tulsa King Season 3, Episode 5, and I'm going to be recapping this episode and let y'all know how I felt about this episode, as well as giving y'all some of my predictions and theories for these next upcoming episodes of Tulsa King. But before I do that and get into this recap, if you're finding me for the first time and you like the content that I upload and create, tap in and hit the post bell notification button to support the channel and to get updated on all content I post on my channel. Hit the like button to help the video get recommended across the algorithm, and leave your thoughts, comments, and theories down below in the comment section. And y'all let me know how y'all felt about the episode and if you enjoyed episode 5. Overall, I enjoyed episode 5. I feel like this was another great episode again. This episode did feel like a build-up episode to me. It felt like they were just building up on the Dwight and Dunmire storyline in this episode, but I still enjoyed the episode at the end of the day. It was a great episode. I ain't got no complaints about this episode. I ain't got no complaints about Season 3 of Tulsa King. I really have been enjoying Season 3. I feel like Season 3 has been amazing so far. Tulsa King is lit. Tulsa King is amazing, and Season 3 is lit. Season 3 has been phenomenal, goddammit. But getting into this recap, I'm going to start the recap off with talking about Bill and the events that led up to him getting arrested at the end of the episode. Because in this episode, Dwight received a call from the watchmaker, aka Dexter Deacon, who is the crazy-ass terrorist that he met in episode 3 when he went to Texas with Musso. And Dexter came to Tulsa in this episode to meet up with Dwight after he did his homework on him and learned about his 25-year bid in the feds. And Dwight wasn't about to take this meeting with Dexter because he was focused on trying to get ready for his party that he was having at his distillery in this episode to launch the Bourbon 50 collection. But when Dexter gave him 5 minutes to make up his mind, as well as Musso calling him right after he had this phone conversation with Dexter and telling him to take the meeting, he decided to meet up with. And I'm glad we was able to figure out about how Musso was able to find out about all the stuff that Dwight got going on in Tulsa in this episode. Because I kid you not, I thought somebody in Dwight's crew was working with the feds. I swear I thought somebody in Dwight's crew was working with Musso. If you watch my episode 4 recap, then you know. I mentioned in that video that I felt like somebody in the Dwight crew was working with Musso, but apparently not. Nobody in the Dwight crew was working with Musso. Musso just has the Dwight phone tapped, and that's how he's able to figure out about all the stuff that he got going on out in Tulsa. So while Dwight was meeting up with Dexter at his bar, Bill thought it would be a good idea to have one of his goons tell Dwight and follow him in this episode, because Bill was suspicious of Dwight possibly meeting up with somebody else in this episode and trying to do business with them, so he could cut Bill out of the bourbon business so he don't gotta give him nothing. And Ray Goons ended up snapping a photo of Dexter leaving out of Dwight's bar right after he was done having a conversation with him. And if you ask me, I feel like the only reason why Bill had his goons follow Dwight throughout the episode is because of what happened with the feds raiding one of his gambling spots in this episode. Because prior to Dwight meeting up with Dexter Deacon, Bill had a conversation conversation with Dwight at his distillery about the feds raiding his gambling spot, as well as having a conversation about Vincent and Quiet Ray, and how both Vincent and Quiet Ray is calling Bill and asking him about the stuff that Dwight got going on out in Tulsa. So I believe Bill was paranoid in this episode because of the feds raiding his gambling spot, and that's the reason why he had his goons tell Dwight and follow him throughout the episode. So Bill confronted Dwight at his house to ask him about where he was at after he left his distillery earlier in the episode after he met up with him, as well as revealing to Dwight that he knows about him having a meeting at his bar with Dexter Deacon because he had one of his goons follow him in this episode. And after Bill told Dwight, it seemed like he'd been meeting up with people and talking to people he ain't got no business talking to. Dwight assumed that Bill was calling him a rat and he pulled out a gun on him, but that wasn't the case at all, according to Bill. And I definitely feel like Bill was subliminally calling Dwight a rat. I feel like if he wasn't calling Dwight a rat or assuming that he was a rat, he wouldn't have questioned Dwight about where he was at after he left his distillery earlier in the episode for meeting up with him. He wouldn't have pulled up on him like that if he possibly didn't assume that Dwight was a rat, especially with Armand still nowhere to be found as well, and Bill bringing that back up to Dwight again in this episode because he also brought up Armand in episode 4 as well. I definitely believe he was subliminally calling out Dwight and trying to see if he was a rat or not. And I definitely believe he's going to think Dwight is a snitch now moving forward, especially after what happened after he left Dwight's house. Because as soon as Bill left Dwight's house, 2 black SUVs truck filled with armed masked men pulled up on Bill at a red light and arrested him at the end of the episode. And like I said earlier in the video, I believe Musso got something to do with this. I believe Musso is the one that locked up Bill. Like I said, I feel like Musso arrested Bill in this episode because he found out about Bill having one of his goons follow Dwight to his bar when he was having a meeting with Dexter Deacon in this episode. I feel like if Bill didn't have his goons follow Dwight in this episode to his bar, he could have avoided getting arrested at the end of the episode. I feel like Musso arrested Bill in this episode to stop him from finding out about Dwight working with him to lock up Dexter Deacon, and that whole situation that they got going on possibly being exposed. I believe that's the reason why Bill got locked up in this episode. I don't believe it got anything to do with the feds raiding his gambling spot. I believe Musso got something to do with this. And from watching the episode 6 trailer, it's definitely looking like Musso might have had something to do with Bill getting locked up. Because maybe it's just me, but this looked like the same goddamn interrogation room that Dwight was in when Musso locked him up at the end of season 2. This looks like the same exact interrogation room. Same chair, same table, same lighting, all that stuff. This looks exactly like the interrogation room that Dwight was in when he got arrested by Musso at the end of season 2. So like I said, I definitely believe Musso got something to do with Bill's arrest. And I do believe eventually Bill is going to get out. He probably could get out in episode 6. And when he do get out of jail, I definitely believe the first person he's going to talk to is Dwight. And moving forward, I do expect both Bill and Dwight to have issues with each other in these next upcoming episodes of Tulsa King. Now, in this episode, we saw the Dunmire family ruin Dwight's bourbon event at his distillery after the Dunmires pulled up with the police along with the Attorney General and shut down the event. Because in this episode, Jeremiah reached out to the Attorney General to see if he could help out with getting Dwight's event canceled at his distillery that he was having after Dwight and his crew took back the Bourbon's 50s collection from the Dunmires in episode 4. And even though the Attorney General wasn't trying to help out Jeremiah Dunmire and he wasn't trying to get involved in this situation between Dwight and Jeremiah forced the Attorney General to get involved and help him out with shutting down Dwight's event after he started making threats towards him. So the attorney reached out to a city health inspector that he has in his back pocket, and the health inspector pulled up to the event to inspect the distillery and shut it down. And to prevent the health inspector from going forward with shutting down the distillery, Bigfoot accidentally killed the health inspector after he knocked down some barrels on top of his head, trying to knock him out but ended up knocking his brains out. So when Jeremiah realized that the health inspector hasn't been back in a cool minute, Jeremiah, along with his family as well as the Attorney General and the police, pulled up at Dwight's distillery and ruined the whole event, telling everybody at the event that he helped create the Bourbon's 50s collection with Cleo's father because he still had a barrel of the Bourbon's 50 collection that Dwight and his crew wasn't able to get back from him in episode 4 when they got the collection back from him. And then he had Cole put a hole in one of the Bourbon's 50s barrels so nobody wouldn't be able to try out the bourbon, which led to Dwight's crew getting into a standoff with the Dunmire's family. And I don't like how Dwight and his crew just sat back and allowed the Dunmire family to come to their event and ruin their whole event and shut it down and not do nothing about it. Like, ain't no way they just sat there and allowed them to do that. Like, somebody should have threw a punch or something. I get it, the police was there and they all had their guns out, but I'm pretty sure if they would have put their guns down and squabbled up and started throwing punches, I'm pretty sure the police would have allowed it. I don't think the police would have been tripping about it. Or the Attorney General, I definitely don't think he would have been tripping about it because he ain't even want to be there in the first place. He wasn't even trying to get involved in this situation between Dwight and Jeremiah. And he let it be known to Jeremiah that there's going to be some blowback because of this. He definitely knows what Jeremiah doing this is going to create more problems between him and Dwight. And I believe by the end of season 3, everybody that's in Jeremiah Dunmire corner is going to turn against him, from the Attorney General. I think Jeremiah is about to face a huge downfall in these next upcoming episodes of Tulsa King. I believe Jeremiah is going to face a huge downfall by the end of season 3, and I believe he's going to get taken out. If he doesn't get taken out, his son Cole probably gets taken out, but I definitely don't see the Dunmire family making it out of season 3 alive, especially after what happened in this episode. I believe moving forward, Dwight and his crew is about to get on offense, and we about to see a whole lot of shootouts and casualties take place in these next upcoming episodes of Tulsa King. I'm definitely expecting that. I definitely believe we about to see Dwight and his crew get active now, especially now that we're about to get into the second half of season 3, and we only got 5 episodes left. But other than that, I ain't got much else to say. If you made it to the end of this video, and you like the video that I uploaded and created, hit that like button to help this video get recommended across the algorithm, and leave your comments, thoughts, and predictions down below in the comment section. I'm gonna get at y'all later. Much love to y'all. Y'all take care, y'all be safe, and God bless. I'll see y'all later.